Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and David Seifert here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Seif, you had summer college coverage. Even though things were a little wacky, you got to see some pretty good prospects who made names for themselves throughout the summer. And then most recently, you got up to Iowa Western to see a scout day. So it sounds like you've had your fill recently.
Yeah, been after a slow April, May, good June with the draft. I'm starting to hit the trail again and get out there and see a lot. It's been a good last 3-4 weeks.
Excellent. Well, let's start off with a guy that has a potential of breaking into the first round. The back of the first round, you mentioned maybe play himself up a little higher with a good spring. And that's left-hander Jordan Wicks out of Kansas State.
Yeah, I went to Rockford to see the Rockford Rivets in the Northwoods League, and they're doing the Northwoods League a little bit differently this year with pods instead of the whole mass of 20 teams. Mm-hmm. But Wicks went up there today. I saw him. He's up to 92, 93, had a 65, 70 changeup, 10 swing and misses the first time through the lineup, 10 swing and misses at the pitch. He's also shown an average breaking ball. I've heard since he went back on campus to K-State, they've had a couple inter-squads, and I've heard he's been even better. So the arrow is definitely pointing up on Jordan Wicks.
Nice. And then a guy that we're definitely familiar with from his high school days in Hayden Jones. Big left-handed bat behind the plate, known for his defense. He's got some power in there, so the question is he going to hit enough? And it sounds like he's kind of making steps toward that of being a backstop that guys want to take high.
Yeah, and I didn't have the high school background like yourself, and I don't know what he did as a freshman at Mississippi State other than I can read his stats. But certainly this summer, hit for average, hit 330-ish in the Grand Park Summit League, and there was some good pitching in that league. Hit for power, he slugged over 500. The day I saw him, he hit 2-3 balls hard into the gap for doubles, and had a real good day. And he's back at Illinois State, and I'm sure just with that coaching staff there, he's going to further improve. He's definitely arrows pointing up on him as well, because like you said, he's already been a defensive guy with a plus arm. Now when the bat comes, it's a pretty good recipe for a high-round pick.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Let's head over to Indiana University, where we've got a couple of Hoosier arms that stood out in McCade Brown and Gabe Bierman.
Yeah, and both of those I saw, both of those locally here. They made a new summer league, all the pop-up summer leagues. One actually happened to be right here in my hometown, and both of those guys pitched for the same team. McCade Brown, I saw him up to 96. And he's a big spin rate guy too, so it's a 96, but it's a rising spin, it's riding life. Mm-hmm. He's always had the breaking ball. It's a 2900 RPM spin rate on the breaking ball. It's a plus pitch when he controls it. For him, it's all a matter of continuing to perform. This summer is really the first time he performed as far as statistically. He's only thrown about limited innings in 2 years at Indiana. And Gabe Bierman, he's more polished. He's a 6'1", 6'2" righty, plus changeup. The slider's coming along really well. He got everybody out this summer as well, and just kind of fun to watch him progress. The first time I saw him was a freshman against Michigan. Saw him briefly last year, and then obviously this summer. So it's been nice to see his development.
Nice. It sounds like in the Midwest, the junior college prospects are especially pretty deep between Wabash Valley, John A. Logan, and Iowa Western. We'll talk about Iowa Western in a moment. But out of Wabash, we've got Jason Ballman, who's a right-hander who you think might be getting some Power 5 interest.
Yeah, I mean, I've received a couple phone calls on him, so as far as what I'm telling them, I think they're interested by the questions they're asking. But, 6'1" righty, 4 pitches for strikes. It's more control than command. He was up to 93 the night I saw him. I know some other guys that told me they saw him up to 95 in that same league. But he's got it all. Throws the breaking ball for strikes, fastball, again, more control than command. But he's an athletic kid, kind of a late bloomer. As a high school senior, he was only throwing low to mid-80s. So this guy you cheer for. He's worked hard and he's getting better.
Mm-hmm. Well, we love to give some small schools some credit, and Bellarmine's got an outfielder in Matt Higgins who seems to be catching some attention.
Yeah, Higgins, a guy I saw in the Northwoods League, again for the Rockford Rivets, just was impressed with his swing, his balance, his strength. And then I looked up his stats after I saw the game. I looked up his stats from past years at Bellarmine. Kid's raked his entire college career. Saw him a couple more games in the Northwoods. He continued to hit for me. But then I looked at his stats at the end of the year, and he only hit like 225, I think. So it's kind of, okay, I saw what I saw, and I saw his stats where he's had 150, 200 bats a year. He didn't do it as well in the Northwoods League this summer, but I really like what I saw in the left-handed hitting. Probably profiles best to left field at the pro level.
Gotcha. And then over at Louisville, we've got a right-hander who used to be known for how well he could hit. I'm sure he still can swing it a little bit, but right-hander Jared Poland has been running up on the mound pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm with you. When I saw him as a prep and his early day at Louisville, as a freshman at Louisville, he was more of a second baseman. But what I saw this summer is just a strong-bodied dude. I mean, he looks the part already. If he was in a big league uniform pitching in the major leagues right now, body type-wise, he's there. I mean, he is just jacked. But he was up to 96. He's a high-spin guy, too. He's got an above-average breaking ball. And like I mentioned to somebody before, it's just stuff-wise. I'm not saying he's a first-rounder, but just stuff-wise, high-spin-wise, body type-wise, he reminds me a lot of Tanner Burns from Auburn, who went, I think, late first, early second round just this past June.
Interesting. And at Kent State, we've got a right-hander in Luke Albright. I remember him from his high school days. Definitely a solid mix across the board. Strong body type. Figured, after a few years, he would do well coming out of Kent State, and it sounds like he's on that track.
Yeah, he's long leg, athletic dude, 6'4", 215. I mean, he's online, high three-quarter slot. I saw him up to 94, I believe, sat 91, 92. It's an average spin rate fastball, but he's also got a nice change of pace, a lower spin change of pace. But I saw him at the Grand Park Summer League. He looks the part. I would say easy top 5 rounds for where he's at right now, but he didn't throw much this summer, and he's probably back on campus getting even better, so he might come out. And again, I'm just being conservative here with top 5 rounds, but he is a guy as well.
Nice. Let's wrap things up with some stuff from the scout day that you saw with Iowa Western. First off, it sounds like there's no shortage of big arms for the Reavers.
No, they just kept running guy out there, left-handed, right-handed. It really didn't matter. But the two that really stuck out for me was as far as the highest profile pro guys, because he had a nice loose arm, a good online delivery. He was up to 93. His name's Ernie Day, right-handed pitcher. Could spin the breaking ball. He's got the other component as well with high spin stuff. He's got good measurables per TrackMan, but he not only looks the part, he throws the part, he's throwing strikes. He was the most impressive. Another guy I saw, Peyton Zabel. I believe he's a transfer from Augustana. He was up to 95, so he showed the best velocity. I've heard he's been up to more like 98. He just wasn't his best. He looked pretty nervous on the mound, just wasn't his best, kind of scattered control. But he's definitely a guy. Again, didn't see his best, but he's definitely a guy, body type 6'7", 235, so you can't miss him.
Nice. And it sounds like they also have a couple of guys that are pretty athletic, in Evan Martin and Kyle Huxdorf.
They have a lot of guys that are pretty athletic, but we'll just narrow in on these two outfielders. Evan Martin, freshman, I think he ran I believe we ran like a 6'8", 360, average to above average arm from the outfield. He had the top bat speed, 76 miles per hour bat speed, which, as you know, that's just crazy bat speed for a college freshman. 102.4 exit velocity, hit the ball almost 400 feet in BP. He was really impressive. He looks like an animal. I mean, he looks like a wrestler, 6'2", 205. I mean, he looks the part. The other guy, who was more of a runner, but he also had a good exit velo over 102. His name's Kyle Huxdorf, more of a center fielder, strong, athletic, ran a 6'5", 760, and showed an above average to plus arm. So those are the two main focus guys, but they have guy after guy, pitcher, hitter. It's a loaded Reaver team.
Yeah, it's come to be expected from them. So, well, there you have it. A good look at some college coverage from the summer and also recently. We look forward to hearing more on college coverage this fall. So, appreciate you joining us today, Seif.
Thanks, Rhodes. Good to be here.
Excellent. So, as always, for David Seifert, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.